defense, economics.
So this here is going to be the demonstration site, so that we learn how to do this. So we just used the BCS tractor the first time. We also have to learn how to use that. And in a moment, the two guys from Live Terra will explain how this works, how to plant a Miyawaki forest, so that in the following days and weeks we are able to do this on our own. And we even got a TV crew here. They are setting up. Let's see how that goes. And where eventually their footage will end up.
Y lo han traído aquí con un camión. 1,2 toneladas para todo el terreno, que no es demasiado. Pero bueno, lo que queremos es simplemente, como ya tiene mucha fertilidad el suelo, de hecho si os fijáis hay un montón de lombrices.
Y lo que os iba a preguntar, ¿por qué
poquito.
mejoráis el terreno si ya de por sí este terreno parece fértil al máximo?
Porque está en un momento muy bueno ahora, porque ha sido una temporada de primavera muy lluviosa y ha infiltrado durante mucho tiempo, y las lombrices cuando están en la parte superior es porque ha habido mucha cantidad de agua. Pero es una zona muy seca, seguimos estando en Córdoba. Entonces nada nos asegura que a partir de dentro de 2 semanas no empiece a hacer 30 grados hasta el 30 de octubre. Entonces, por si acaso...
Este terreno no lo conocemos, esto era a partir de eso, de 3 o 4 semanas está amarillo.
No necesariamente, porque de verdad hay mucha agua, o sea, ya habéis visto que en las zonas más así con depresión se ha formado charco, pero ha sido un muy buen año.
Pero habitualmente sí.
Habitualmente esto en verano es un secarral, 37 grados de esa clásica mediterránea. Entonces, como es una plantación que estamos haciendo además que es un poco tarde en la temporada, estamos ya en abril, hemos preferido aplicar, o sea, traer tanto el compost como aplicar el mulch, que es donde está tumbado ese señor, que eso sirve para poner cuando se plantan las plantas, se pone por encima y lo que hace es reducir la insolación y retener la humedad. Y además Estefan va a instalar riego. Así que este terreno, que en realidad es forestal, va a tener unas condiciones muy buenas.
Entonces, ahora somos...
¿Cómo tú te llamas?
Yo, Tato.
¿A los dos? ¿Y ella?
Marta.
Marta. Bueno.
Y Tato. Bueno, mi nombre es Pedro Pablo, pero todo el mundo me conoce por Tato.
Tato. Estupendo.
Ahora a ver si podemos grabar a Marcos dando la explicación. Y luego le grabamos en entrevista.
Vamos a poner la cámara allá atrás, está lo del... La primera vez que la cojo. ¿Le doy allí? Está quedando bien. La verdad que no me ha pegado para nada.
Bueno, que había mil cosas todavía que ver. Vamos a explicar para que tenga planta.
This would have been very nice pig food. So this one here is certainly a daikon radish. So this time they grew a lot better. That's very positive. And maybe a word of explanation. So this is now a demonstration how we are supposed to do this. So Life Terra is telling us what a good method is and how to distribute the plants and all that. And over the following days, weeks, months, we will see, we will then continue doing that. So this is the beginning. This is not yet the result.
Coloca. Marcos, vete un poquito más cerca tú de la cámara.
Y ellos que se pongan así a lo mejor.
Vosotros poneos por
como el
aquí.
círculo.
A los dos lados de...
Sí, escucharle, pues realmente lo que vais a hacer es escuchar.
Sí, ahora es importante enterarse.
¿Cómo?
Pensaba que este casi iba a camuflar ahí.
Hacer bulto.
Claro.
¿Hago bulto?
Sí.
Como en las manifestaciones.
Bueno, pues por nuestra parte. Que se nota más.
Que se metan más.
Sí.
¿Nos saltamos allí?
Pero
A bit
más
closer.
Ahí está, eso es.
Incluso es más cerca de las plantas, ¿no?
Vale, da igual, la veo, yo la veo. Venga, sí, ya me iré moviendo yo si es necesario.
Vale.
Te digo que pare con la moto.
No, no hace falta. Vale, cuando quiera.
Alright, so I'm going to do it in English for the general understanding, and then if there's any extra doubts, I can go for it in Spanish as well. So now we're going to explain how to plant with the Miyawaki technique. The Miyawaki technique is a planting technique that consists of making a forest with a very, very high density. We do this so that the species compete amongst each other. We plant several species. We have 21 species in this particular plot. So what we're going to do is going to plant 5 individuals of different species per square meter, and we're always going to try for those species to be different per square meter. So we don't try to not repeat the same 5 species in the same square meter in subsequent spaces. We do this so that the competition happens, but it doesn't happen always against one particular species or favoring one particular species, because what we want in the future, especially in such a big terrain, is to see a real boost of biodiversity. We want to see all 21 species thrive because they all bring something different to the environment. We have several fruit trees, such as the almond tree, cherry trees, we have the walnut. These will attract birds, and this will help to disperse these seeds around the rest of the terrain, and maybe we can see a passive restoration of the rest of the landscape. We also have shrub species and aromatic species that will cover the ground faster. So a lot of the different areas of the ecological values will be covered. So first of all, what we did is we prepared the land, thanks to all of you and to the help of the machinery and the strength. This will be done in the whole terrain eventually. Afterwards, what we did is we applied compost, because the soil, although it's already quite good, we're already starting to see that the days are becoming warmer, the more insolation, more hours of sun. So it's good to, have every ground covered and just ensure that these plants will thrive, especially in this first year. What we're going to do now is, Luis and I, we're going to do a demonstration of how to plant 1 square meter. And then once that is done, we're going to apply mulch, which comes from the cutting of the different vegetation of the terrain. And we're going to put it on top. And we do this because it's important, first of all, to reduce the insolation. As I said before, we're in Córdoba. This is very, very warm area in the summer, very high temperatures. The sun is very harsh. But also to retain humidity. Once the irrigation system is installed and the irrigation happens, this will help to retain the humidity in order to reduce the amount of maintenance that we need for such a big forestry plot. Generally in forestry we don't work with a lot of maintenance. We do a first irrigation maybe to settle the plants the first year, but the rest of the time it's not like you can go to the forest with big buckets of water or a truck or something like that. So we are preparing the conditions from year one so that we don't have to come here every other year in order to prune, in order to water, in order to apply more compost, because luckily we would have created the conditions for the Miyawaki forest to thrive on its own. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select 5 different species. Remember, it's 5 per square meter. So because it's the first, we're going to pick, for example, Fistus, which is a fast-growing species. We're going to pick Quercus vaginea, which is a type of oak. We're going to pick Juniperus phoenicia, and we're going to pick a pine tree. This is Pinus alepensis, and Prunus dulcis, an almond tree. So once we have our 5 species, we go to the plantation site. Maybe between these 2 flags. Okay. And we select what is a square meters. We have the flags as a reference. So in this square meter, we're going to plant these 5. The usual technique is to do 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle, but you can vary, then you can do 2 in the middle and different. The important thing is that it's kind of random. You don't have to follow a pattern, you don't have to follow a pattern neither with the species and neither with the planting. And because the land has been prepared, it should be fairly easy to just go into the land. It's important that the whole root system is inside, because if not, the roots are not going to grow. Can I get the shovel? If you need to break it a little bit.
I think this part of the land is a bit, the soil is a bit harder.
It's a bit harder. But we plant, and remember that we always need to cover the full size of the roots. It cannot eventually look like this, the soil here or the soil here, because then we're killing the plant. And it doesn't matter, because eventually we're going to put mulching, the mulch cover, to cover all the rest. So once it's planted, we compact the soil a little bit around it. We double check that the root system is not showing, and we do the next one. Do not do it in a line. You can always.
It's important to compact very well the soil.
No quede aire dentro.
That's right.
Because
we don't want air pockets.
Because it can, if there are air pockets, it can retain too much water also and produce fungi growth. And it's always important to plant all the trees, all the plants as straight as possible. If we would plant it like this, then it would grow in the wrong direction.
Okay.
So this is a typical 1 square meter of a Miyawaki, where there's 5 different species, randomly distributed. And once we're done with this, the next step, we always try to compact the soil a little bit, and we have to bring the mulch cover.
This is for the example now, but ideally maybe we do one or 2 rows and then we apply the mulch.
So we need to let the plants, of course, breathe. So we break the mulch a little bit. And we cover the soil, but we don't cover fully on top of the plant. We let the light go in. but we create a cover to reduce insulation on the floor, on the soil, and to retain humidity. And this increases the survival chances of every square meter of the whole Miyawaki by a massive percentage. So now that you know, you can start picking plants and start doing the row. The best idea is to start with the row that is against the fence, because eventually we're going to have to apply the mulch. And if we do too wide of an area, then we cannot access it, because sometimes we don't see the plants, these are small, and you can walk, but there is a risk.
Hay que intentar que no se repita el mismo patrón, por ejemplo, una cada esquina y otra en el medio.
Random. Intentad hacerlo aleatorio, lo más aleatorio posible. Tampoco os comáis mucho la cabeza porque son muchas especies, muchos metros cuadrados, entonces si se repiten dos no pasa nada.
Ya, bueno.
Pero la idea es, bueno, aquí hemos plantado dos, una y dos, pues aquí igual se puede empezar con una aquí, otra ahí, otra ahí, más o menos. La idea es que esto, the general idea is that this will become a natural forest. We are of course inducing a lot of the growth of a lot of species, but it will look natural. We're just inducing a high competition. The most important is to, for example, the people who work here and the people who work in this other square meter, to try to not repeat the same species that we've picked. If one species is repeated, it's okay, but in general, try for this not to happen. So, you're more than welcome to start getting your hands dirty.
You can use the flags in order to make this...
We will mark the square meters first, and then we will move.
Pues manos a la obra.
No, debes decir, let's plant, ¿no?
Let's plant! The top, always. Yes, and in case it's impossible, because sometimes the root system grows through the plastic, then from below you push it through and get it started. Yeah.
Vale, pasar echarle uno y darle otra vez. Si quieres ya.
No mucho, que ya te digo que y luego, una que no me así, ya es más fácil. Porque como es una plantación muy rápida. Ya verás que ahora vamos a preparar el terreno. Luego eso con hermano. Y lo que he dicho es importante es las muchas especies. Importante, si había gestiones a 5 especies, importante que no sea como siempre, porque queremos hacer configuraciones, a lo mejor esa pues se ve beneficiado el pino por lo que sea, pero haces otro y se ve beneficiado más el pino, entonces es intentar no repetir,
Experimentar también a ver cómo...
y que a lo mejor pues, en este repites pero que las otras intentemos que sean como distintas, ¿no? Como
Sí,
hacer una
que no llevemos un patrón, que cambiamos por...
sin patrón ninguno, simple aleatoriedad.
En metro cuadrado, 5 plantas.
Porque hay, si hacemos números, 4, 75, ¿me quito yo el micro?
No.
Ahí no vamos a pasar.
¿Me lo llevo?
Espera, sí, a lo mejor. Marta.
See how it works. It should work.
To do it back home. To do it back home.
Marta, tiene que repetirlo todo.
Sí.
¿Qué te
Vale.
parece euskera?
¿Hablas euskera?
Ya hemos hecho
En catalán.
Sí, lo que voy a preparar es darle demasiado. Sí, la excavadora, pero si no puedo
Claro, sembrar uno, hacemos un... Claro, y crece como loco. Pero para todo esto...
quizás es más...
Yo estoy poquito a poco.
Ahí vosotros veis cómo es más sencillo, pero sí tiene buena pinta. Ahí tú le has dado bien y se nota que
Sí,
está bien.
si le echas un rato lo dejas bien.
Está blandito, solo está que se puede hacer. Y luego eso, hay
Para llevar el patrón. Pero bueno, que con la banderita va muy bien porque haces tú mira. Te vienes para acá. Ah, se voy a llevar la banderita. Bueno, tenemos ahí otras banderitas más. No son tan llamativas, son más chiquitas de obra. Pero también nos vale. De madera, ¿no? De esa madera.
Sí. Y si las puedes dejar, ¿qué iba a decir? No hay lo mismo en todas las especies. Algunas tienen más, algunas tienen menos. Si tú llegas y de repente nos hemos quedado sin tal, bueno, pues sigues haciendo
un mano a los otros.
Sí, sigues haciendo mix y ya está.
Bueno,
y si yo ahí, la verdad que me encanta porque si se acumula agua y tal, pues es también un buen pequeño sitio donde tienen los pájaros de Dehesa, también con frutos se van, los insectos, o sea que también salga ahí ese accesorio de agua en el terreno. Yo no lo plantaría ahora, más que nada ahora mismo tampoco se puede. Pero bueno, así como alrededor,
y la gente que ha
si hay
vivido,
una piedra ahí.
Sí, hay que evitar un terreno chico que se evita y,
claro,
y seguimos por otro lado.
Claro, y si a lo mejor vas por la mitad y decís, vale, a ver, ¿cuántas plantas que son? ¿Cuántas plantas gestionan? Hay que meter más densidad, porque de 5 metros 6 lo vais viendo vosotros según vayáis avanzando. Pero bueno, la idea es...
Ahora tenemos muchísimos nichos y las hará historias por todos lados. Además que luego quiere quitarme el recorte y quitarlo. Sí. Los árboles más grandes que hay por eso jugarnos la vida de las terras, tienen más...
Es decir, si esto... Cuando esto crece más de 20 años,
Tato, ¿te podemos llamar para grabar a Marco?
Sí.
Es una cosa más como de...
So after the explanation, planting is now in progress. Obviously, because we have the TV crew here, there are still some conversations going on about how to do things. But we are in progress, we have started. And over the following day, this will continue. And we also have to install the irrigation system. Things are a little bit prepared, but of course, such an event is always a little bit chaotic. But I hope everybody watching this can see how this pans out and what can be done. And if you are interested, there will be more of these events to restore this land now in a different way by adding plants instead of letting the animals do it alone. There will be animals in the future, but we have to try all kinds of methods to figure out what works best. I am now on my way to the train station in Cordoba. It's 120 kilometers from here, so it means I will be driving 240 to pick up one other volunteer who comes on all the way from Estonia. So thank you very much for taking this journey on you to help us plant. That's very kind of you. The others are planting, and the TV crew has been filming. They wanted to see the rest of the land and did an interview with me, quite interesting. It's not my first time that I've been interviewed, but it is always an interesting experience. And so things are on a good way. We still need to fix a few things in the bathroom, because we had all this delay and chaos and trouble, but everything can be solved. Only death cannot be solved yet. And you have to stay positive and optimistic and somehow figure out how to get it done. And usually you will succeed. So I think we are. So the volunteers who have arrived yesterday had a very nice dinner. I did not film anything there because the idea was to talk and eat. But we went to a local restaurant and I think everybody liked it. Angel is currently in another car getting the lunch for everybody and also something for dinner. So that's the very same restaurant where we went yesterday. It's called Bolau, which in the local dialect, so to put it this way, means crazy. Because the owner has a reputation of being like that, but he likes it, and so he called his hotel and restaurant Bolau. And food was very good. And I think I mentioned that he sold his land to us, so he is the previous owner of this land. And yeah, I'm happy. I guess everybody else is also happy. And tomorrow Angel and I have to finish the installation in the bathroom. For now there is a garden hose for a quick shower at ambient temperature. I guess after a hot day cool water is nice, but to shower in the early morning when it's still single digit. My car was marking 1 centigrade this morning. Now it's marking 14, but in the sun it is already hot and you will sweat. That's the usual temperature swing here. But tonight the temperatures will be 3 or 4 outside in the early morning hours. So a hot shower in the morning would be nice, and the water heater is already there. It's hanging on the wall, but it's not connected, and we have to do this, and hopefully we can finish that tomorrow. But today, as the TV crew was there and Live Terra also did some sort of some training, it was important to focus on that. And now, over the coming days, we will refine things and everything will get better. 2 other volunteers who could not make it for this week will show up next week, so it will even be more people. So it's going good. As you can see, we have blue skies. Everything looks extremely nice. The truck in front is from the local cooperative called COVAP, Cooperative of the Valle de los Pedroches. And that's basically the biggest employer also here, because everything is livestock keeping and all the associated things. And he might be transporting pigs, the way this truck looks like. Some animals, because it's a closed thing. I can't go to the site and have a look. And of course this camera will not show you a lot. It's extremely wide angle. But you can see how everything looks like. Growth is abundant now because there was a lot of rain and a lot of moisture is in the ground, and the sun now helps. And depending how the fincas have been kept regarding the grazing and all that, things grow very well or not so well. So that's the difference that you can see when you look very closely. So it's basically the management regime. So that's definitely a livestock truck there. 2 stories. Very likely for pigs. There are some cows.